it was started as purely a recording process and very purely about the production in the studio.
Electronic production.
Electronic production.
Yeah, right.
And then it's more about translating that to a live setting rather than the other way around.
These guys have been in bands touring as well for years.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, but you've actually turned it into a live stage band. So it's kind of reverse engineered.
Yeah, it's come from the studio
process.
to live.
Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
opposite of the traditional setting, which has been cool. Like I said, those two trained musicians, I guess, and I wasn't so much. I came in at it from I started DJing once I left school and got into it that way. I wanted to make house music, and then got together with these guys, and we sort of met in the middle of the sounds that we wanted to make. And then I've got to be able to play this stuff live and have the fun of working with a band on stage and finding that fun. Like once you lock into a groove with someone, it's such a fun and different experience I hadn't had before.
We started writing July last year, and that was probably a 9-month process, I would say.
Yeah, so we finished the album in March, April. Oh no, we finished in February, and then we probably had a month to try and work out how to do it all live, I'd say. And we spent the first maybe 6 weeks. We spent the first 2 weeks in proper pre-production, getting all those stems and everything ready, like we were saying, and having the fun of working out how to do the extended live edits and how to have fun with it on stage. And then it was probably another 4 weeks of just. There's so much shit that you have to work out with nutting out all those little problems, and you just really got to leave time for that sort of stuff. If you did it a couple of weeks before, you're bound to get problems on stage.
Yeah, I guess you can't really anticipate how time intensive it is, particularly with just tiny little things that just fuck you over. And it's just a process of trial and error and just combing through I feel like we've really refined this setup. And not once on the tour did we experience any sort of dramas or processing issues or anything, which is cool.
Well, I've got an audio engineering degree, and that's why we use Pro Tools, because that's what I learnt on, and then I've been training the other two up on it. We all use Pro Tools now, but I'd say that all three of us were really necessary in that mixing process. It was 3 sets of ears, and we were there, every day for 9 months. The mixing process was probably like a lot of the sounds and music that we create is very frequency based anyway. The stuff that we're putting in there, it deserves to be there. There is a space for it, so we're already like subconsciously mixing I
guess the writing process is basically the mixing process in a way from the start, just because of the kind of music it is.
But then there is an intense
referencing.
And then there is an intense mixing process at the end that we just locked ourselves down and went through every frequency band properly, and just did heaps of referencing, I guess, with other stuff. I don't think there is something that was really the tipping point for us. It was just a lot of hard work over those 3 years with gradual successes.
It's a series of rewards, I guess, a series of really small successes.
So it started with we put our music on Earth, and we started getting a little bit of play with one of our songs. Then we got a publicist involved because we weren't getting the attention that we wanted from labels or whatever. So once we hired the publicist, that was probably a really big moment for us, because it was finally getting taken to Triple J through the right channels, and we were getting heard. And then we started getting more play. Our second EP, we got a couple of singles picked up because of those things, like the publicist, a booking agent. We started to form a team behind us, and that's again like that gradual thing that was continuing to happen. Then we just decided, without a label really on board, to start writing the album again, just bulldozing ahead, regardless of anyone listening or not, or getting the answers that we wanted. And then we wrote the album, we were halfway through writing it, and sort of looking for the right label, and that's when we met Ajax, who really took us under our wing with championing the album, and he signed us to Sweat It Out. and really believed in us. It was the first time that we sort of got that sort of feedback from someone that we really respected. And I suppose it's just about having that team behind you.
Yeah, a big part of it is this team that has been growing from the start. And originally it was just us and John's brother who does all the film clips and the visual element, and then getting the manager on board, who is a massive part of it, and is kind of the driving force of making deals with people, and
and it's like
invaluable, really.
I still remember the first interview that we had on FBI and how like nervous and excited I was about that, but also at the same time, once that had happened, I already had my eyes on like the next thing, and I think that's that driving force that like if you really want to do this, like you're that passionate and you're always thinking ahead, and like like as much as I try to pinch ourselves once stuff's happening, I'm already thinking of something bigger and really driving for that to happen, and to have that team behind you all thinking the same thing rather than just yourself is massive, and it's just about collecting people on the way.
It's pretty diplomatic, but people get really passionate about something, and if they really want to change the attack of that thing, they will fight for it.
Let me change the attack.
And we change the attack. They will, and so
that's been the biggest thing there about us. So we've worked with other people as well, and particularly since we've been doing this, there's been interest from other people to maybe come in the studio with us, and a lot of people just don't work in the same way that we do, and they get frustrated when it's not working the way that they want it to. But I think all three of us are fairly happy to hear someone out, hear an idea out.
Yeah, it's that openness to other ideas. Even if you're not feeling it, you ride along with it, and then if it works, it does. And it wouldn't have worked if you hadn't have gone along with it. But if it doesn't, then they accept that and you move on and someone else tries something.
It's a really healthy relationship
democratic,
between all three of us. We did spend like 9 months together in the same room, like so tight together, but you learn to back off when you need to, and to speak up when you need to. And I think that the best thing about working with three people that are all heavily involved in the production process is that all three of us have different influences, different music that we listen to. We all like to go out at night and really vibe on hearing a cool track and get back into the studio as soon as possible and lay those ideas out. So it's about using everyone's influences to write your sound rather than just relying heavily on one influence or one person.
Yeah, or trying to replicate the sound that you've already made. It's like the sound naturally kind of just happens from these influences, I guess. So you got to trust in that, and which we do. So that's cool.